Okay, we're going to go over exponential growth specifically. So the title kind of gives away the question. But the question says a pond has a population of goldfish. Currently there are 500 goldfish, which is growing at a rate of 8% per year. How many fish will there be in 5 years' time? So whenever I do a word problem, I usually read it once, and then the second time through I highlight any of the information. So I read it again. A pond has a population of goldfish. Okay. Currently, so right now, there are 500 goldfish. Okay, so we have that right now. It's growing at a rate of 8% per year. Okay, and growing is important because it kind of tells us whether it's increasing or decreasing.
Growth or decay, right?
Exactly. And then they want to know how much it'll be in 5 years' time. So these are the three. I've kind of highlighted them per color. Important piece of information. So we need a formula for exponential growth. It looks like you guys are using this. Pn is equal to PO 1 plus or minus. And I'm going to write a plus or minus, and we're going to talk about the difference between them.
Okay.
That's okay. And then the percentage rate, and then n in time. So we'll talk about what these all mean. And sometimes they use, as a percentage rate, they use the letter R, which they usually do.
Yeah, I was like, but this is R is growth rate in decimal.
So the Pn stands for your population. Population after n amount of years, so n number of years. And what they're saying is, really, that's the, let me say, the future.
So n is the number of years.
Yeah. So this is the future amount. So in this question, that's 5 years. So they would ask you for P at 5.
Mm-hmm.
P naught is the population. Right. Population.
That's called P naught?
Yeah, or P0, sometimes they'll call it. What it means is the starting point. Population at right now. Okay, we're going to describe it as that right now. Usually they'll say it at 0 years or at the very beginning, but for our sake, we'll say this is happening right now. So what's the population right now? Our R is the growth rate, so percentage, and in this case it's growth rate. And then finally, N is number of years. So we have a whole bunch of this information. The P naught, they want to know what's the population right now. What is our population right now?
500 goldfish.
Yeah, 500 goldfish. Great. So let's write that in. Our P naught is equal to 500. Okay. What about our growth rate, R?
It's growing at 8%.
All right, so R is equal to 8%. And our N, I think we highlighted it in blue. Yeah. How many years is it?
5 years.
5. Okay, so N is 5 years. Now, it's important that the time is measured in the same units as percent. So percent per year and time is year. So that works out really good. We don't have to do any conversions for this question. The interest rate, or not the interest rate, but the growth rate, the percent, that's to be converted to a decimal. Okay? So as a decimal, so convert to decimal. Scratch writing. To convert this to a decimal, we would do 8 divided by 100, which will give us 0.08. So that's the actual R value we're going to plug in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. P naught is our time now, 500. N is years. That's great. And remember, for our formula, we're looking for...
that's why it says R growth rate in decimal.
Yeah,
so that means it's supposed to, like, you do that convert into decimal, which you do whatever the number is divided by 100. That's in any case, right?
That's right. The Pn is what we're looking for. So Pn, we're going to leave it. We don't know what it is. P naught is 500, if you remember from the formula. And then we had a bracket, 1. And then it was a plus or a minus. Okay, plus is for growth. Actually, I use a different color here. Plus is for growth. And negative is for decay. Okay, so if we're growing, we're going to add the growth rate, and if we're decaying, we're going to subtract the decay rate. In this case, we're growing, so we're going to add our value of 0.08. Okay, and then it's all to the power of our n, which is to the power of 5. Okay, so this was the exact same formula as we had up here. Pn equals PO. We just replaced PO with 500, R with the growth rate, N with 5, and we chose either to plus or minus. Because it's growth, we used plus. Okay?
Oh, so that's the formula. That's the formula. What's up there?
Yeah,
you
it's this exact formula
like
here.
you just plug it in.
Yeah. So we're going to continue because we're trying to solve Pn is equal to 500.
Positive means growth, negative decay, right?
Yeah.
I'm still confused about that area given.
So because it's growing, we have to use a plus value here. If it was decay, we'd subtract this amount from 1.
How do you know when it's decay?
It would probably tell us in the question. Yeah. And this one it said it was growing.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have 1 plus 0.8, which is 1.08. Okay. And then it's to the power of 5. Because we do exponents before we do multiplication, we can kind of do this in, we can probably do it in one step, but we'll do it step by step. 1.08 to the power of 5 is equal to this number. You know what? I'm not going to write that number down. It's a huge number to write down. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to multiply it, because the next step would be to multiply by 500. Because we're growing, our answer should be greater than 500.
Yeah.
If it's not, we know we've made some error somewhere. And it is. Okay, 734.6. So we'll round up. Because it's goldfish, we don't have 0.6 of a goldfish.
Yeah.
So we're going to say 735. So our future amount should be 735. And sometimes you use this as really approximately 735 goldfish. Oops, spell that right. Goldfish. And remember, it's in 5 years. Okay. So really all it is figuring out what's our starting, what's our rate of growth, how many years, and we just plug it into the formula, follow bedmass, and it'll tell us our future amount.